An organisation advocating for debt relief in developing countries says New Zealand banker Andrew Pearse has likely negotiated a plea deal. If not, he faces up to 20 years in prison for his role in a multi-billion-dollar scandal which devastated the African nation of Mozambique. In a US court on Friday, Pearse admitted accepting some $67 million in bribes for facilitating phony loans to Mozambique, which crippled the country's economy. Eric Lecomte from the Jubilee USA network has been following the case and told our reporter Matthew Tunison Mr Pearse is going to have to be very helpful to US prosecutors if he's to avoid a lengthy sentence in a US prison.
We're dealing with a terrible financial crisis that the Mozambique people are wrestling with, and they are billions of dollars in debt. They're not able to pay the debt. The country is currently in default. And we look back the history of the crisis to 2016 when the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund cut ties for financing and funding for Mozambique. And that was a direct result of a terrible loan scandal that took place that Credit Suisse and VTB Bank, a Russian bank, were a part of, where $2 billion in secret loans were given to entities in the government of Mozambique. And those secret loans, which were supposed to help build the tuna fishing industry for poor and working people in Mozambique, didn't go to what the purpose of those loans were for. In actuality, that $2 billion was used to take boats and turn them into Mozambique military attack craft. And the loans were kept secret because of the finance minister, as well as a number of bankers that were involved. On Friday in New York, Andrew Pearse pled guilty to participating in this scandal and defrauding the people of Mozambique billions of dollars because he and 5 others that are charged in U.S. courts have been called responsible for taking roughly $200 million in bribes, leading to this terrible loan scandal, which eventually led to the default for Mozambique, one of the poorest countries in the world.
And what has Andrew Pearse actually admitted?
So Andrew Pearse in court on Friday admitted that he knew that he was taking illegal money. He knew that it was leading to defrauding the people of Mozambique.
And what sort of sentence is he looking at here?
He's looking at 20 years or more, not even looking at the fines, but just to head to jail. So he's 49 years old. If Andrew Pearse is convicted, he's looking at not getting out of jail until after he's 60 years old. Because he is one of the first 2 people to openly plead guilty, my sense is that he does have a plea deal, and he's turning over more information against other Credit Suisse bankers, other bankers, as well as other Mozambique financial officials that have been involved in this case. It seems very likely that he's cooperating with the U.S. Justice Department in order to try and put more people behind bars, as well as possibly go after the institution of Credit Suisse itself.
But he will likely go to jail, do you think?
Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think it would be very unlikely that Andrew Pearse does not see some jail time as well as serious fines for his involvement in this scandal.
That's Jubilee USA Network Executive Director Eric Lecomte speaking with RNZ's Matthew Tunison. Mr Pearse was released on a $3.7 million bond, that's New Zealand dollars, and allowed to return to his current home in the UK pending sentencing.